A lot of people ask me, hey, how do you get a motorcycle license? Well, here in New Zealand it's actually pretty easy. The first thing you've got to do is go to the AA or VTNZ and take a driver's test, a theory test. So you sit down at a computer and you have to do 35 multi-choice questions. It's pretty easy, and I believe you have to get 33 out of 35 to pass, so you can only get 2 wrong. If you get 3 wrong, you fail and you have to do it again, which is really gay, but that's how it is. And this test costs, I believe, 80 to 100, no, it's $100 to do the test. And after you get that done, you have to do a practical. So you go to an authorized trainer and you go sit down on a motorbike. It's usually a 125, sometimes a 250cc motorbike, and you ride between some cones, do some zigzags and do some mock driving around roundabouts and stuff. It's pretty easy if you know how to use a motorcycle, if you know how to shift through the gears. And just make sure you use your indicator during the test. That's the thing that they fail most on. So I did mine in Palmerston North with a guy called 0800 2 Wheels, and I jumped on a little Suzuki GN125 looking thing, and I already knew how to ride a motorbike, so I didn't have to pay as much because I didn't have to do the motorcycle training part. I just jumped straight on it and did the test after about 5 to 10 minutes of getting used to the motorbike. And from what I can remember, it costs $60 to do the test if you've ridden motorcycles before. And if you need the motorcycle training, which takes about half an hour, I believe it's about $110 to $120. And this motorcycle instructor will teach you how to ride a motorbike, how to use the clutch, how to shift through the gears, and it's a pretty good way to get into it. And don't be intimidated, just go along and do it. Even if you don't know how to ride a motorbike, you're only going to have to pay another $40 or so, and you get trained by a professional guy how to ride a motorbike, and he gives you a lot of safety tips, so it's quite worthwhile, I reckon. So after you get the theory done and the practical done, you have your learner's motorcycle license, and you can hold this license for a minimum of 6 months, and I believe your license will be valid for 4 years. So I got my license about maybe just over a year ago, and right now I'm able to go back to him and go for a restricted license. And with this restricted license, you get a little bit more freedom, but it doesn't change much apart from you get your learner plates taken off your motorcycle. And this motorcycle test, I believe it costs about the same, $100 to $120. He follows behind you inside of his van, and you ride your own motorbike. It has to be LAMS approved, it has to have learner plates, it has to be WAFT and regoed, and it has to be able to keep up with road speeds. So you don't want to do the restricted test if you've only got a 125. You're probably going to have something 250 cc's or larger to keep up with the road speeds, because you're going to be riding around on the roads in an open road, so 100 k's an hour, and in town, and he's going to follow you and mark you for your riding position, your gap selection, defensive driving skills, use of your indicators, and use of your mirrors, which is really important. And if you know how to ride a motorbike properly and you have good defensive driving skills and you use your indicators and mirrors, you will pass. And once you pass this restricted test, you now have your restricted license. And I believe 18 months later, you go do another practical test, And I believe you get your full license after that, and you get all the freedoms. You can take people on the back, you can go as far as you want. You no longer have to ride a LAMS approved motorcycle, so you can have your big friggin' 1600cc Harley Davidson if you want, or you could have your Honda CBR 1000 double fucking R. So that's how it works in New Zealand. I reckon it's a pretty good system because it keeps people off the large displacement bikes, such as in America, you get these hooligans who just learned how to ride a motorcycle jump onto a Hayabusa! And they end up wrecking it and killing themselves. So I reckon the New Zealand system for getting onto a motorcycle is pretty good, and it's pretty reasonable. As far as I know, in some places like Great Britain and stuff, if you're under the age of 16, you have to only be riding a 50cc moped, and once you get past the age of 16, you can get a 125, and you have to slowly progress up in displacement. But here in New Zealand, you don't have to put up with any of their bullshit. You don't have to start on a 125. You can jump on a 250 or a 400. Man, that was a pretty nice ride. It's starting to get dark now, when it's getting dark earlier, so I can't really go out for long rides. As you can see, everybody's got their headlights on, and it's starting to get dark, so it's time to bring it back home. I hope my little piece of information about how to get your motorcycle license is helpful, because I know a lot of my friends who sometimes watch my channel, they'll be interested to know if they want to get into motorbikes. And any viewers that are interested in getting into motorcycling in New Zealand, you now know what you need to do to get your motorcycle license. I'm just about to go up to my house now, so I'll see you guys later. Have a friggin' awesome day, and get your motorcycle license.